another video. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in for another one. We're talking about my weight loss and where we are at after, oh god, how many months has it been? 6 months or so. So currently I'm, I think, like 13.5 stone. So I think I last was 12 stone. I want to say 7. So we have gained. But to be fair, it's not the worst gain. And I will say I did gain a lot more, but then I ended up losing the extra poundage. So I think at my heaviest, I was going on to at 14 stone. I was like, girl, you need to nip this in the bud. I will say the reason for that was just because life was lifing. There's a lot of just happening in terms of, you know, people passing away in the family. Stressful, just a stressful time. And I think I went straight back to food again in terms of just like holding onto it so much and being like, oh my god, like I need something right now. Everything seems out of control and the only thing that I can kind of go run to is food. So I definitely did do that and I was aware of it, and I made sure to see that that was happening and stop myself doing that. I will say I'm proud of myself for being aware rather than just being blind to it, because I feel like by the time my heaviest, you will see here, which is like 240 pounds and 240.6 pounds, which I was on 16 stone. I literally was oblivious to it, like genuinely oblivious to it. And I think it's not talked about a lot in terms of like people, how when you're, I think, in that survival mode, 1, 2, when you think like, well, I'm not that bad, and you kind of look at yourself every single day and you think to yourself like, I'm not that bad, you know, just probably, you make excuses. It's water weight, I'm on my period, I'm bloated. You just have these things, and I genuinely do sympathize and understand when people are like, I don't know how I got to 200 pounds, I don't know how I got to 300 pounds, I don't know how I got to 400 pounds, because it's literally like you've got blinders on until one day there's that one picture. And I think a lot of people will say that it takes, what is this one picture that you'll see one day of yourself and you're like, what the hell happened? Like, where did I get here? And the picture for me is this one. Yes, I hate that picture so much. But it's not getting deleted, and I put it everywhere because I want to remind myself that I loathe that picture. Like, I think it says to my friends, I laugh about it now. I'm like, why did you not tell me I look like that? I'm like, why did you let me wear that? Like, why? And it was also at the time as well. I remember it was I always remember it because it was my trip to Portugal last year, and I was like, oh, I want to dress nicely, like, you know, oh, this is my first girls trip with the girls, and I want to dress like cute, you know, like neutral look, like baggy, and I just kept trying to find that style, but it just felt like it wasn't looking the way I wanted it to look on me, because obviously I realized I'd gained like a lot of pounds. And I remember going to Primark, and we all know Primark sizing is whack at times, and I had to get the trousers that I was wearing that were at 18, and I was so like disappointed, but I was like, oh, it's Primark anyway, the sizing is what it is, you know. UK 18, should I say. I'm guessing that would be a US 22, I want to say. I don't know US sizes, so I'm just guessing that, but yeah. So I thought, you know, it's Primark. That's how we do it. That's what it does. But at the same time, you know, I knew, I was like, ugh. Even then at Primark, I've always either been 16 still. Like, even though I've kind of kept to the side, to the dress size, I was 16. So at that time, it was just such a pivotal moment. And I think looking at that picture, I was just shocked. I was dumbfounded. I looked ill, I looked unwell, I was stressed. I remember because I was still working in the job that I didn't really enjoy. I was stressed out because I was traveling crazy amounts, long distances, half the day traveling, half the day coming back from home traveling, and it just felt like a never-ending cycle. And I genuinely knew I was in survival mode. And I remember talking to my friend, we're looking over like Portugal, the bridge, and we just sat like in this park, and I was like, I just need, something needs to change. I even sort of told her like, I want to leave my job like ASAP, like next year I need to go, like I know I need to be gone by next year. And that's one thing I'm proud of, because I kept my word. Like, I kept my word. I actually did leave, and thank God that I did, because I just feel like my health was just at a peak of like stress. My face looked stressed, everything, like it was just stressing me, my body, my relationship. So I am glad that I was able to leave that, even though at the time I just didn't want to, because I was like, well, I found a job that I enjoy. Like, why do I have to leave? But at the same time, I was like, it's also sucking me of my energy, so I have to. So yeah, I'm really appreciative, but that is the picture that did it for me, and that picture is the one that ended up changing everything for me in terms of just like saying, you know what, we need to get a grip now. We need to get this in the bud, nip this in the bud. So yeah, I'm appreciative of that picture. Let that picture be a motivation, because I still have those trousers as well, because I want to always remember where I got to and I don't want to get back to. So I think I wore those trousers again and I was like, oh, this is getting a bit, they still were obviously snug, obviously, when I gained the weight, because I wore them like 240 pounds, and you know I'd gained just a bit, so I was at like 190, yeah, at this point 196 or something like that. So I was creeping up to the 200s and I didn't want to get to that stage, so I was like, yeah, let's wear these again and remind ourselves why. So yeah, my journey has not been linear, it's been up and down, up and down, but I just don't want to encourage you guys that once you do see that you need to change, like, don't beat yourself up. Life will happen. The pounds will come on and off sometimes, but also just being aware that, oh, I'm getting to a stage here where I'm comfort eating too much. You know, I'm having ice cream like all the time. Like, that's my weakness, ice cream. Like, I just go run to ice cream, and if anything is happening, I'm like, ooh, let's get to the ice cream. Ooh, let's eat the ice cream. So I had to realize that because I was now comfort eating, now we're getting into dangerous territory, because stay in that place and you're not aware of it, that's when you can end up being like looking up one day and be like, oh, I gained 50 pounds. So I had to be aware of it, like, okay, we're doing this today, but we need to make sure that we're nipping this in the bud, because we're not trying to make this a consistent routine thing. And I think because of that, my walks obviously slowed down. I wasn't out as much. I think I told you guys that I did like the 75 hard. Obviously I did end up stopping that, but I think that was the best thing that I did, because it really reminded me how much work I need to do for my body to actually respond, because I was doing 45 minutes of walking, or outdoor workout, which is usually walking, and then indoor I was usually doing like a home workout, and with that I saw a lot of change. And I think because I was being so used to like the home workouts, which is just like 30 minutes, and then I'm like, oh, I've done 30 minutes though, which is fine, but I did realize that my body is also used to a certain way of training, and for me to see those results I did need to add extra, you know, steps in, or extra workouts. When you are smaller as well, you do require a lot more kind of to do more to kind of remove it, so I think it's that as well. But yeah, we're back on track, guys, we're back on track. So I'm on 13.5, which is always been my comfortable weight. I will say this is the weight my body always wants to stay at, 13 stone 5, like 180s, 185. It's always wants to stay at the 185, and I do like how I look at 185, to be fair. 180, I think I'm still overweight in the BMI chart, but at the same time I don't want to be a skinny mini. So we'll see. I'll still continue being healthy. I've got my PT session next week, so I will be trying to resume those, get my massages in to kind of reduce the inflammation that I've been having. But yeah, in terms of that, life's just been happening, and you know, health issues as well haven't helped, in terms of just having to go to the GP, having tests done, etc. And obviously that can build anxiety, and then that makes you comfort eat. So yeah, it's just one of them things. But my journey is a roller coaster. It's not linear. In terms of food wise, it has been good, apart from like the ice cream, which is an issue. But I have been making my own meals. I've tried to not eat out as much. I will say, like, chips have always been my weakness. So if I did want to eat out, it's just been like having chips with some ketchup, and that's it. And then the only thing it was for me, I'd realised that my habits had changed in terms of what I ate. So I was eating a lot more home cooked meals, because I was cooking them, batch cooking, and then putting them in the freezer, but it was quantity. So I was eating more of the things to kind of compensate in a way. So I'll be eating like my rice with my kidney beans, with like my fish and my veggies, and then I'd have the other second one. So I'd be like, girl, I know you're not eating unhealthy anymore, like, you know, McDonald's or whatever, but you're eating just as much volume with the healthy things. So that's one thing that was new, that came into play. Was before, it was very much a snacker, and whereas now I feel like I'm not as much a snacker. And it's more, it was the volumes, which I'm saying was because it's no longer an issue. So like I said, it's just making sure that you are on it. And I know sometimes you don't want to always be on it, because it is tiring and it is a lot, but you do have to be on it in terms of your health when you're someone that does rely on food for comfort. You kind of can't let up too much. You do have to have that some sort of restraint in some way. So yeah, that has been my experience in the past few months. Obviously I'm getting back on it, but also we're getting into cozy season, we're getting into autumn, so yeah, girl, the walks are gonna be the stepper. Because, and it's funny enough though, in summer when you think I'd walk more, I want to walk more in autumn, even though like the weather can be a bit like it does take me a while to get up, but once I've decided I will go out and walk, and I do actually enjoy it. So I think it's one of them. It's just, I think the initial change of the dark nights and the dark mornings, that can be a bit hard for me, but once I get into it, usually enjoy it because I love the autumn, looking at the autumn trees, just everything that's very autumnal. So yeah, I do like to sometimes be a bit more relaxed when I get to the autumn, because it's just like my cozy season and I love it so much. But yeah, we're gonna still be on it, and I just thought I'd give you an update at the moment. So this dress my mother-in-law gave me is a 16, so it's a little, I won't say it's baggy, it's not the worst, it's okay. I am a 14 now, so you can't really see much, but this is me at the moment, and I'm loving it. Like I'm not mad at my size at the moment. Like, this is a tiny room with like 2 chairs as well, so it doesn't really, it's up to at my here. So I was trying to show you like how the dress actually looks, but it's a cute dress, this, isn't it? I love. So yeah, this is me currently, guys. 185, no, I lie. 187 at the moment. So yeah, we're 13 stone 5, so that's the main thing. So if I get to 12 stone, I think I'll be happy again, like I said, just to give myself leeway of like back and forth, like a few calories, especially with Christmas coming up. But I'm very happy with my progress, and I think it's good to give yourself a pat on the back sometimes, and it's okay to have a rest at times, so don't be too hard on yourself, guys. Keep going, you've got this. Do watch any of my previous videos regarding my weight loss journey and how, you know, my whole journey of like, you know, my youth, how I got to the size that I was and how I lost it basically. So my videos are available for any other ones. Please do like,